Hi, this is Rob. I just had Pastor Tim with me today. He was kind enough to answer a few questions that folks might ask him about our church and about our church body. So let's jump right into the interview. Hi, we have Pastor Tim Meisler here, who is the senior pastor at Grace Bible Presbyterian Church here in Sharonville. I just had a few questions I wanted to ask him about the congregation and the church body here. So one of the first questions I wanted to ask is that as a pastor, what is your goal on Sundays? What do you want someone to walk away with?
As I'm planning the week for that Sunday morning, I have three very, very important goals in mind as I'm thinking about the congregation. The first is I want people to really get a sense that God is amazing, that He's a lot bigger than they've given Him credit for, that He is wise, all-powerful, all-knowing, that He is indeed beyond our comprehension, but yet knowable. I want them to get this sense that God is indeed great. The second thing I really want people to see is if they see God like that, holy and omnipotent and powerful, they're going to want to live holy in light of that. And so I want them to walk away with an understanding of, well, how do I live holy in front of a God this amazing and this beautiful and this glorious? How do I live in light of that? And the third thing is, if I know that God is this beautiful and I want to live holy unto Him, I'm going to want to tell people about this God of ours. I'm going to want to tell them about who Christ is, what He means to me, and what He's done for me. So I have those three things in mind all the time. And I want people to really walk away with an amazing view of God. How do I live in light of that? And then thirdly, I need to tell people about what God has done in my life and what He can do in their life.
Great. I guess a follow-up question to that then would be, since we worship such an amazing God, what is the worship like here at church?
What is the worship like here at Grace? I think in terms that most people would understand, it's traditional worship. There is a liturgy that we follow in the bulletin where we have welcomes and announcements, but then right after those welcome and announcements, we move into a time of worship. Our time is spent glorifying and honoring God in our singing, in our prayers, in the choir, as well as in the preaching, and everything else that surrounds that worship service. Our goal is to please God, first and foremost. And as His children, when we please God, we ourselves are going to feel that joy and excitement about who He is, but we want to please Him in a way that honors Him first, respects Him, and keeps that holiness in mind as we come to Him through Christ. We need to be reverent, we need to be respectful, but we need to be joyful because we're His children being let into the kingdom hall.
And I think it's also important to follow up with that the preaching and the Word of God informs our worship as well. I think that's Absolutely. I would say that's probably the pinnacle when it comes to the worship is when the King Himself now talks to His people. Before that time, we're talking to Him in our praise, in our worship, in our prayers, in our sacraments, and in our offering. We're all saying, this is our life given to you, Father, and now He communicates to us by the grace of His Son in the preaching of His Word. So that takes the primary focus in the life of the worship service. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks again for Pastor Tim for stopping by and answering the questions for us. If you'd like more information, it's available on our website. It's gracebpc.org, where you can find directions to our church as well as times for our worship services. Thanks again and have a good day.